what kind of car it was he was driving? Something like that? Where did Kay work?
She worked at home for a business, I believe. I can't remember what exactly it is.
So she was just she works from her apartment? From the room? Okay. What about Maddie and Zach? Where did they work?
Maddie and Xana both worked at Mad Greek, and then Maddie also had a paid internship through this business as well that was online at home.
Who would know what that business is? How would I be able to figure that out?
You might know.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. There's because they were business majors, and through their majors, they were able to get these jobs.
Okay.
Welcome back to my Mental Health and Crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is all my thoughts, my speculations, and my opinions only. This is the case of the Idaho 4. May the victims rest in peace, condolence to the families, and may the correct justice be served. Today I'd like to play a bit about the interview that just came out of the main witness, the surviving roommate, DM, Dylan Mortensen. I believe she's had 3 interviews from the beginning of this case. Let's not forget, if we summarize everything from the beginning, it's just that the timelines, narratives have been changed so much that it's important now and then to go back in the beginning and to summarize everything we have. I'll tell you my opinions later on, but like I said, this is all my thoughts, my speculations, and my opinions only. DM says in this interview to Detective Mowry, small bits and pieces about things she's heard mostly. She speaks about Kaylee dancing with Murphy, her dog, and I don't think she's talking about literally seeing that. Because when somebody's asked something and they tell you that they've seen, example, Kaylee playing with her dog, if they wanted to get that point across, they would have told you, I saw Kaylee in the living room playing with her dog. So for DM to say that she saw Kaylee, or she said she heard Kaylee playing with Murphy, dancing with Murphy, then that means she did not lay eyes on Kaylee, but she heard Kaylee dancing. Maybe she heard the music. Maybe she heard the footsteps of them dancing. Let's not forget this is an old creaky house. But what surprises me is DM has shown even the police from the beginning. Pay attention to her exact words. She keeps on saying Kaylee was walking up the steps, and then Kaylee says there's somebody here. Murphy starts barking. Kaylee runs down back to the second floor, and she never mentions Kaylee running back upstairs again. So how did Kaylee land on on Maddie is the question. If Kaylee's dancing in the living room, and let's not forget the mess in the living room. She's dancing in the mess in the living room with her dog Murphy. Then she's on her way up. So was DM hearing all this? Kaylee running upstairs? Did Murphy run upstairs with Kaylee? And did Kaylee run downstairs like DM is saying. If Kaylee ran downstairs, then Kaylee would have been found downstairs on the second floor. How did she end up in Maddie's bed? The description DM is giving of BK, the detective Murray keeps on saying, he says, a man in black. He mentions a man in black. He never says a man with a ski mask, a balaclava, whatever. He doesn't mention nothing of that sort. He just says a man in black clothing, in black, like Men in Black with Will Smith. So why does he say a man in black? And why does DM just remember Kaylee's whereabouts and what Kaylee said and what Kaylee did not say? Why is she so focused on Kaylee? She was the one who invited Kaylee back as a plus one. Let's not forget. So she gives the details that Kaylee works for a business and she works from home. Let's not forget Kaylee's LinkedIn account was logged off. Somebody logged off Kaylee's LinkedIn account 13 hours after 911 was called. That would say 13 hours after 11:58 noon, 12 at noon. What was so important in Kaylee's LinkedIn account that the suspect or suspects needed it? Who was in charge of Kaylee's social media? Because somebody was clearly logging off Kaylee's LinkedIn account. I believe a lot of this case has to do with Kaylee and with Ethan. Both of them are the main targets, in my opinion. I believe Xana was just fighting for life. She was fighting for her boyfriend, Ethan. But this had a lot to do with Kaylee. And I don't think Steve and his wife obviously want to tell us the truth. They know more than we know because they're the parents of Kaylee. Let's not forget that. So there was more going on. What is it about this white vehicle? Was it a truck, a SUV, a Sierra? What vehicle did Steve Gongalves and his wife, Kaylee's mother, Christy Gongalves, what vehicle did they lend Jack D? That's important. But let's go back to DM. So DM is saying she certainly heard Kaylee saying there's somebody here. So my question is, could that person have been hiding in the house from the very beginning? And they decided to maybe attack Kaylee when Kaylee went upstairs. So while Kaylee was dancing upstairs, the person was hiding upstairs. Does that make sense? Could that be possible that somebody was already waiting in the inside? Let's not forget that we've discussed most of these theories because this case has been going on for 3 years. This November 13th, that would say in a month, 5 weeks' time, 5.5 weeks' time, we've hit the mark of 3 years and we still don't know what happened here. What I find very strange is this case is not only about Kaylee as one of the main targets, this is about Kaylee and her dog Murphy. Murphy's very involved in it. Pay attention to how DM is going to say in this interview that, the police found Murphy outside. She said something about like she didn't expect the police to find Murphy. Like, where was Murphy is the question she was asking. So did she actually even search for Murphy from the beginning? Before they called 911. Before they even called Hunter and Emily. and their friends and their sororities and possibly the frats, before DM called anyone, did she actually go around the house, room to room, searching for Murphy? Is the question. So was Murphy out for 5-6 hours of the night? We didn't hear much barking. On the body cams, we heard a bit barking, but we don't know exactly if that is Murphy. And whether Murphy is a puppy or not, if Murphy hears action, like somebody literally attacking Kaylee and Maddie and Zan or not, he would react by barking. Even animals have their instincts, and they protect themselves by barking. Dogs. Cats may not do much. They may just look shocked and surprised. May scratch a bit here and there. But dogs and puppies would obviously bark. They would be giving out alert signals so that other people can hear it. Something is not right in this case. I believe it's DM and BF's interviews and Jack G and Jack Showalter. Those 4 interviews do not make sense for me at all. I don't care what people say. None of those 4 interviews. And DM and Jack D's hands don't make sense for me. Neither does Hunter and his girlfriend Emily. His thighs and legs have bruises, in my opinion. I do understand that when you zoom in, you can get a bit shady colors or something, but the picture, the image remains the same. When you see something on the floor, you see something on the floor. If you see somebody standing up, you see somebody standing up. Let the picture be blurry, but you can see the shape of the figure and what's going on. DM is lying because she would have heard people defending themselves, fighting for their lives. This is about survival. Is DM really trying to tell us that she saw Zan on the floor and she and BF? BF said she saw Zan on the floor too, if you remember. And none of them thought it was important enough to call 911, or even Zana's sister Jasmine, just to check up on BF, just to check up on Zana. Zana was one kind person. She used to check up on everyone. Why didn't these people check up on Zana? Pay attention to how they never mentioned Maddie. Where was Maddie? It's the question. Where was Maddie? I don't personally think that Kaylee was sleeping in her room at all. I think Kaylee could have been downstairs and whether she was chilling or doing whatever downstairs in the 2nd level, she was up on her way to her room when somebody attacked her. That's if we believe what DM is saying. Nobody can be trusted in these timelines, in the narratives. They keep on changing it. The lies just piles up. This isn't normal. This isn't normal behavior. This isn't about shock and frozen state of mind. This is more than that.
Yeah.
And then I heard that it was possibly you. So I just wanted to make sure that I got the right person out of those kind of things. Did you hear Murphy barking or doing anything
Yes, he was barking a lot.
throughout the night, or?
When I heard Kaylee go upstairs, he's barking a lot, and then I could tell that he was outside. I don't know how the police found him because he wasn't in the house.
Okay.
But he has a puppy who barks, but he was barking a lot.
I don't know how the police found him, but he was outside when the police came. Is that what she said? Let's rewind it.
Upstairs, he's barking a lot, and then I could tell that he was outside. outside. I don't know how the police found him because he was in the house.
Okay.
So Murphy was outside, and then when the police came, DM said he was inside, but she heard him barking outside. So did somebody leave Murphy outside on purpose? Was this Blake? Or could have Jack D taken his dog outside? In the Linda Lane footage, we hear somebody, like, whispering, kind of whispering loudly Murphy's name. Murphy, Murphy. And they're whistling. So was somebody luring Murphy out, is my question? It doesn't look like DM was very fond of Murphy at all. I don't think she was fond of Kaylee either. May she rest in peace.
Or doing anything
Yes, he was barking a lot.
throughout the night, or?
When I heard Kaylee go upstairs, he was barking a lot, and then I could tell that he was outside. I don't know how the police found him because he was in the house.
Okay.
But he has puppy barks, but he was barking a lot if there was someone there.
And that was, at 1:32, or was that around 4?
And the thing happened.
And when he was barking, when you first heard him on barking after she was up there playing, did you hear him go outside, or did you start outside?
When Murphy was with Kaylee, when they were like dancing, they walked upstairs, he was still with her, and then Alex went here, he started barking.
Okay.
So according to DM, Murphy was barking. He was going up, he was dancing with Kaylee. Then he was going up the steps with Kaylee to her room. And then Kaylee said, there's somebody here. She came running downstairs. We don't know how Kaylee ended up upstairs on the 3rd floor once again. Doesn't make sense at all, but that's what DM is trying to tell us. She said she doesn't know how the police found Murphy because she thought she heard Murphy barking outside. So was Murphy outside for a couple of hours, is my question. Nothing of this timeline, this story makes sense. And then this is the second time we're hearing about Murphy, because let's not forget Maddie and BF. Let's go back to BF's statements. She said Maddie came knocking at BF's room, asking BF if she saw Murphy. That is after Maddie, BF, and Murphy were outside letting Murphy get some fresh air and go party. The officer asked BF, how did she know that? She said, because I went outside for 10 seconds with BF and Maddie and Murphy. So this is the second time we're hearing about Murphy. Once he's with Maddie going for a walk, and that is an interesting one that I believe something could have happened. Somebody could have lured Murphy towards Sailor Avenue, and then somebody could have basically grabbed, what's her name, Maddie, when she came searching for Murphy, the dog. Maybe later on, because Murphy first Maddie comes to BF, knocking at her door. This was at 2:30, saying, have you seen Murphy? So maybe she went outside, still searching for Murphy, and somebody grabbed Maddie, because her jacket looks like it's lying in the bushes. And then we have BF, who said she heard the sound and she saw the flash of firework. Isn't that strange? But DM doesn't see it, according to her. So if you pay attention, DM and BF statements are way different. One saw the fireworks, the other didn't see it. One saw the man with the black clothing and mask, that's DM. BF did not see the man, allegedly. Then we have DM all confused. She doesn't know if it was Zana who was saying there's somebody here or Kaylee. Everything seems to be changing every time. This is getting really frustrating. Because when something is a cover-up, when it's a lie, it's never going to stick. Because, like they used to tell us when we were children, don't lie, because one lie leads you to 1,000 of lies. So look at all the nonsense and all the lies they have to cover up because of the main cover-up. If the truth comes out, the university is going to be shut down. This turns into a federal case. This will be all over the news. They would rather one patsy takes it than a whole university. I actually think about it furthermore. 2 universities, Idaho, Moscow, and the University of Washington, Pullman. 2 universities goes down. Look at what's going on right now with the Charlie Kirk case. The assassination happened in a university too, in Utah. I prefer not to talk about that case because I have my own feedback and I don't get involved in political cases. I try to avoid politics, religion, such things. It's something that just brings a lot of hate, ignorancy. It brings a lot of hurt. It brings a lot of stereotypes. So I don't take those conversations lightly, and I don't even like discussing about it. But that is a very good example of what happened with Charlie Kirk. May he rest in peace. No human being deserves to be unalived for their beliefs. He gave people a chance to discuss their ideas, so I don't think he should have been unalived at all. That is wrong. He has a family. May he rest in peace. That is really wrong. But yet again, that was a university campus. And Charlie Kirk's case should remind us of life is too short to be spreading hate. Anything, discrimination, racism, politics, anything like that shouldn't be going around to start with. I prefer dealing with true crime, although that's a part of true crime too. His is a conspiracy theory and a half. This is what happens when you get mixed up with different things. Foreign affairs and such things. Things have consequences. I feel sorry for him and his family. But coming back to this case with DM, that case is an example of how cover-ups can happen easily with the FBI even. I'm not saying that is what has happened in this case. I'm saying Brian Koberger could be involved, but I don't think he did this by himself. The timing is too short for one person to have done this to Kaylee's face. For one person to have done this to Zana, who fought for life and got poked 52 times. Kaylee got poked 34 times. They even poked her teeth with a knife, so you can imagine. And I believe, just like Kaylee's father, Steve said, there were 2 separate weapons that were used on his daughter. They're just hiding it from us. They don't want the truth to come out. And that Sierra that was going to 1122 King Road could have been anyone is Sierra. So I don't buy that. not for a second.
He doesn't fully know that
I
yet.
don't know, he would just be, if anything, probably hanging with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
When the guy in black left, did he close the slider or did he leave it open?
I don't know. I just ran downstairs.
Perfect. Okay.
Did you all hear the nonsense DM just said? She said after she saw the guy with the black clothes and the mask, I guess, leaving the sliding door, which was broken usually. It wouldn't lock properly. The front door wasn't even locking properly itself, so they had two doors, the back and the front door. That wasn't working and nothing was done about that. Didn't, what's her name, Xana saw her come that weekend before? Or did he just fix Xana's bedroom door? I do think so. Because to fix the outside doors, you'll need permission from the landlord himself. The landlords were in Colorado. One was registered child SEX offender. Remember his name was Scott and the other, I think his name was Peter. We've already spoken about this 3 years ago. Did Kaylee run into information? Maybe. Or did one of them run into information they wasn't supposed to talk about? And could that have got them into all this trouble? DM had the audacity to tell the Detective Maury that she went downstairs right after the guy left the sliding door. Let that sink into you. There wasn't any shock face. There wasn't any bawling. There wasn't any yelling. There wasn't any screaming. There wasn't any frozen shock face that she's using so lightly. As a mental health counselor, I find that to be really disgusting if that is in the truth, which it doesn't look like. These people had time to run down to BF's room. Pay attention. So this is the part 1 of DM, a short interview. It's just for 5 minutes. And at the same time, I'm adding BF's interview now and then. Because BF's interview is more about Ethan and Xana and the Sigma Chi fraternity boys. So this is DM's interview. If you summarize it, she was surprised that Murphy the dog was found outside. I really believe Murphy was with his owner, Jack T. I really believe that. He was kept somewhere. Maybe he was with Hunter and Emily or Josie. He was kept somewhere safe. Others, Murphy would have been doing more barking, in my opinion. He is brought now and then. And he was brought right before the police came. That's what I believe. Poor Murphy. DM doesn't care about Murphy. Why would she care about a dog when she doesn't care about humans? I'm dead serious. She took 8 hours to call the cops. Let me know what you'll think. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is the part 1.